What's up, guys? So if you know much about fighting games, you probably know what it means to be unsafe on block, right? That means that if the opponent blocks a specific move, they get a free hit on you, as opposed to things that are safe on block, where if the opponent blocks them, there's nothing they can do, they don't get a free punish. But did you know that there are some moves that are unsafe on hit? Meaning, even if you get hit by the move, you get a free punish on the opponent. And a lot of people, when they find out about this, they say, that makes no sense, no move should be unsafe on hit. But today, I'm here to explain to you why moves can be unsafe on hit and why it's okay. One reason for this is because sometimes moves are intended to be used as anti-airs. So for example, Cammy's close heavy kick is very unsafe on hit against grounded opponents, but against airborne opponents, it takes them some time to recover and land, so this makes you perfectly safe on hit. This also applies to T-Hawk's down forward light punch. Against grounded opponents, it's unsafe on hit, but against airborne opponents, you recover much earlier. Even Guile, his down heavy punch, unsafe on hit on the ground, but against airborne opponents, this is a really, really amazing anti-air. So that's reason number one. Reason number two why certain moves are unsafe on hit is because they are meant to be spaced out correctly. So this especially applies to like slide type moves. These tend to be very unsafe on hit when used up close, but if you space it out, if you hit with just the tip of it, then you're going to be much safer and you're not going to be able to be punished. This can even apply to fireballs. A lot of fireballs are unsafe on hit if done up close. You got to be careful. You could eat a really big punish if you use a fireball with really bad spacing. But if you space yourself out, if you get a little bit of distance on the opponent, not only will you get increased frame advantage, but you'll also push yourself further back so you're out of range of any sort of attacks the opponent tries to do. This applies across all kinds of games, even Samurai Shodown. Characters like Jubei, his fireball can be very unsafe if done up close, but from a little further back, it becomes completely safe. So take note of this when you're playing fireball characters or any character with sort of forward moving, slow attacks. Make sure that you use them from the proper range so you don't get punished. Reason number three why moves can be unsafe on hit is that you're not actually intended to hit with the move. And I know that this sounds counterintuitive. Why would there be a move that you don't actually want to hit? But take Zangief's Green Hand, for example. This is unsafe on hit, but it does offer a lot of utility other than hitting the opponent. For one thing, it is a gap closer, so you can use it to get close after some things like SPD that put you full screen. It covers distance a lot faster than his very slow dash on the ground. And its secondary bit of utility that it has is that it destroys fireballs. So if someone is trying to zone you out with fireballs, you can bust through them with Green Hand and get close. So even though this move is unsafe on hit, it's still really useful and a vital part of Zangief's kit. Another example you might be familiar with is in Smash Brothers. Most up B attacks are going to be unsafe on hit in a lot of situations, other than, you know, times where you're killing off the top of the screen and stuff like that. You leave yourself really open if you hit the opponent with an up B. But of course, these offer the secondary utility of giving you a lot of vertical movement and helping you get back on stage. So even though they're unsafe on hit, they're extremely useful moves. Reason number four for unsafe on hit moves is that their recovery can be cancelled. So level 1 focus attacks in Street Fighter 4 are a great example. Very unsafe on hit, but you can dash cancel them to make them completely safe. But this applies to some other moves as well. For example, Fei Long close heavy punch is unsafe on hit, but he can cancel the recovery with any of his many special moves to make it combo on hits. So that's pretty useful. Going back to Samurai Shodown, Jubei, his crouching medium slash is actually unsafe on hit, but you can cancel it, turn it into a combo, and make yourself safe. So don't just be throwing out moves like this willy-nilly. Make sure you have a plan, a way to cancel their recovery and make them safe. Reason number five, the final reason for unsafe on hit moves, is that they're meant to close out the round or get a stun. So instant overheads in Street Fighter, that means doing an overhead on the way up. And these are unreactable overheads, but they are punishable. Sometimes even being punishable by Ultra or Super, stuff like that, which makes them very dangerous. But these end up being extremely potent tools for closing out the match, or if you're winning and doing really well and the opponent is close to stun, this can be the perfect tool to finally get that last hit and stun the opponent. And then if they get really low on health, they're only one hit away from dying, having this unreactable overhead, compared to most overheads that are reactable, having this unreactable tool to close out the round is insanely useful. Going back to Smash, a good example of this is Jigglypuff's Rest. Obviously, this move is extremely unsafe if you use it at low percents, but to close out a match, there's basically nothing better for killing the opponent when they get to higher percents. Now guys, that's not to say that developers never make mistakes. For example, in Street Fighter 4, Balrog can punish Blanca's Blanca Ball in like every situation, which really made this matchup terrible, although they did fix this in the later versions of Street Fighter 4. And similarly in Street Fighter 3, you know, a lot of low tiers lose access to a ton of their moves if they're fighting against a good character who has super ready, so that can make these matchups really lopsided as well. You can't even use a lot of your tools without being punishable by super. But with those exceptions aside, the point I'm trying to make here is if you're playing a character and you see that one of their moves is unsafe on hit, don't just write it off. Check it out, see what other alternative uses it may have, and I think you'll find that usually these moves do have their place in the game. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. This took a lot of work for me to make between the research and the footage and all that, so I hope that you enjoyed it a lot, and that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.